everyone, today the news article we are going to discuss is Blinken says China helping fuel Russian director to Ukraine. Here's a rundown of the news. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken during his visit to Beijing warned China about its indirect support to Russia's aggression in Ukraine through the supply of critical components. Blinken stated that the U.S. may take attention if China does not halt these supplies, hinting at possible sanctions. Despite this, Blinken acknowledged some progress in U.S.-China relations, praising China's effort to curb fentanyl supplies and suggesting China could play a constructive role in the Middle East. His visit is part of an effort to stabilize U.S.-China relations, strained by issues such as Taiwan, the South China Sea, and the technology effect bonds.
Hi everyone, my name is Sanjia Yu, and this is my part. It's about misinformation and disinformation. Firstly is misinformation. Firstly, the issues of information transmission between China and the US. There are many strict restrictions on the actual use of drugs exported from China, but it's difficult for the United States to achieve strict drug control in the context of painkillers abuse. So the United States will make a misjudgment on the use of fentanyl. In the cooperation between China and United States, both sides may mistakenly believe that the overall problem has been significantly improved based on successful cases. However, due to the lack of sustained and in-depth cooperation, the problem still exists, leading to a bias in both parties' understanding of the severity of the problem. Next is disinformation. You can see this picture. And the United States can spread information by claiming that China provides critical military supplies to Russia in order to create international distrust and condemnation of China and force China to maintain a distance from Russia. Disrupt cooperation between China and Russia, especially in economic and military areas. Weakening these cooperations help isolate Russia, making it even more isolated and helpless in the conflict in Ukraine. The United States can call on its allies to impose stricter sanctions on China, limiting China's economic growth and technical development. Taking this opportunity to promote the international community to impose more economic sanctions and diplomatic pressure on China, further cramping China's global influence and economic development. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Based on analyzing this news, its title clearly shows Blinken's main idea. He says China is helping Russia, posing a threat to Ukraine. Blinken in Beijing said China gave important components to Russia, but didn't say what components. This makes people pay attention and talk a lot. In this instance, Blinken, representing the US government, strongly criticizes China's support for Russia. Meanwhile, Xi Jinping emphasizes cooperation between China and the US rather than fights. Blinken thinks China's actions make Europe less safe and hints the US might punish some Chinese groups. US-China relations got worse because of Taiwan, South China Sea fights, and tech bans. This news tries to be fair, but indirectly shows what the US thinks by quoting Blinken. This news might confuse readers, since there's no proof people might think China is directly in the war. Also, Blinken doesn't say actually what the US will do, which might scare people for no reason.
Okay, then I will point out some language misuse issues in this news article and suggest more appropriate and accurate words, phrases, sentences, symbols to address these issues. First one, tensions were further exacerbated, is more formal and appropriate for a news report. Dispute over a suspected spy balloon is more precise as it indicates the nature of the disagreement and the suspicion rather than certainty. Avoid colloquial words like "row," which is more formal and applicable to news reporting. The motivation could be tensions were further exacerbated by a dispute over a suspected spy balloon in February. For the second one, a semicolon is used to connect two independent clauses that are closely related. The length and the complexity of the sentences here makes it more suitable to be separated with pairs to improve readability. And for the third one, entering the US makes it clear that the core of the problem is the flow of fentanyl into the United States, not just the unknown source. Then for the last one, using territorial claims rather than claims, it is more accurate to avoid ambiguity.
By addressing these language misuse issues, the revised reporting becomes more accurate and informative, helping the reader better grasp the nuances of the situation without being missed or confused.